Everybody has heard of it by now, the universal basic income. But most of us still have a rather fuzzy view of economics and how UBI would actually work. What if there were a way to learn about UBI that was fun, was fast and insightful? Well, now there is. It's the Universal Basic Income simulation and business game from the Swedish Sustainable Economy Foundation. Now this is the way it works. We take an imaginary country called Lilliput, which has decided to introduce universal basic income. We sit together and we play the citizens in various groups. Now the experiment works for several turns of the clock, which could be years or months or whatever. We all have to get together and make key decisions, and the whole thing is simplified for the sake of learning, but we hope not too simplistic. It's all done in a big room, and if we start from the left side, there's someone with scorekeeping and computer. In the computer is the simulation engine and the graph engine. So that produces graphs showing the results of your decisions on the simulation screen. Now the government has to make decisions, employers have to make decisions, and the working and voting public have to make decisions. So at each round there are several decisions to be made, and we can stop and we can have discussions and see what we're learning along the way. These are the decisions that go around 9 rounds. I'm showing you round 1 and round 2 here. The first one is how much VAT to put on things. The second is how much to tax employment. We have Lilliput dollars, how much should we pay people. Employers can work out how much to change in their wages. Employees can decide whether they're going to keep their job or go over to UBI, and there's a general confidence in government vote. This is what happens. We can see what happens to state income. In this case, as an example, we see that tax on work has reduced, VAT is remaining, and the overall income goes down. We can also follow state expenses, how they're distributed. In this case, the red part is where the UBI goes to older people, and there's a UBI that goes to younger people. Social costs go down, and so do education, health, and other costs as they're redistributed without much of an increase. Now you can see what happens with all these decisions as you make them. And we can also see the number of people who are in work and the number of people who are not in work, and the youth. We can also see the total GDP generated. In this case, state income has gone up through decisions. We can see the popularity of the government. That's gone up but remains still. We can see what happens to the workforce. That goes down, and if workforce goes down, then UBI costs go up. We can also see what happens with wages. In this case, a group decided that the wages should go up. Despite that, workforce went down, and we see what happens to both the minimum wage and the UBI compared to average wage. GDP can go up totally, we can follow that. And we can also follow company profitability. You can realise that as the number of workers goes down, but UBI goes up, you can still sell all your products, although in this case taxes were raised to see what would happen, and of course profitability went down with that. Now the whole thing about playing something like this, it gives a lot. It gives you insights fast into the way the economy works. It also gives you insights into your ideas and values and priorities. That goes on with the players. There's a lot of internal thinking and soul searching when you have to make the decisions. It gives you a very broad perspective on the way the economy works in general, and it's a chance to share viewpoints because there are a lot of people in the room who have a lot of different ideas. It's a great opportunity to share them and see how these viewpoints play out in reality. If you're interested in joining us, look for UBI on stephenhinton.org, and we'll be happy to arrange a simulation in your community, company, country, or whatever. Thanks for listening.